Probably the biggest storyline from this most recent Raiders game for San Francisco was the injury sustained by their starting right guard Dominick Puni. According to Kyle Shanahan, he injured his PCL and he'll be out at least a couple of weeks, meaning potentially he could miss the start of the season. On top of that, San Francisco's other presumed starting guard in Bartch has been dealing with injuries, meaning San Francisco has turned to the rookies in Connor Colby and Drew Moss more than ever, with Connor Colby even starting for San Francisco. So in this video, I wanted to examine both of their performances against the Las Vegas Raiders to really see if they can replace players like Bartch and Dominick Puni headed into the season. Initially, to start out, I did want to look at Connor Colby, San Francisco's 7th round pick, who found himself starting this week even prior to Dominick Puni's injury, with Bartch leaving practice, meaning after his dominant performance against the Broncos, where he saw himself graded as the highest player on San Francisco's offensive side of the ball, he was able to jump over the veteran Nick on the depth chart. And the big reason I believe why is his ability as a run blocker. He has all the athleticism necessary to be effective in Kyle Shanahan's offense and does a great job on his hook blocks. To really illustrate this point, with this defensive tackle lining up in this one technique, meaning he's lining up on the outside shoulder of this center, Colby is responsible for hook blocking him, meaning he has to step across his face and flip his hips to cut him off from the play. And Colby not only does a nice job of getting a 45-degree angle on this defensive tackle, he's also maintaining a lower pad level, which starts driving up both 47 and Colby up the field. So 47 tries to use this to his advantage, throwing Colby, but because Colby is such an athletic player, he's able to respond, mirror him, and cut him off from this play. I love this type of athleticism, especially from a 7th round rookie. Another reason I believe Colby is so effective in his hook blocks is just how strong his grip strength is. Here, for instance, he's able to latch onto the double underhook and he doesn't let go until Burford finally hits his man. In a similar way on this down block on 47, Colby is able to show off his grip strength, attaching early on this play, getting the double underhooks once again, and here, pay attention to his feet. He keeps them churning on this play, and eventually is almost able to establish a hook block because of this. Another underappreciated part about Colby's game, in my opinion, is his ability to double team his way up to the second level. Here, for instance, Burford and Colby are responsible for double teaming this defensive end up to the linebacker. And I love the drive they're able to get on this play. Colby then does a nice job of releasing from this block and attaching to a much more athletic linebacker, which is something that you saw on his Iowa tape as well. Where Colby's really shocked me as a player though so far this preseason has been his ability as a pass blocker. Specifically on this play, I really want to focus on his hand usage. He's pretty aggressive attacking this defensive tackle, and he gets hit with a double hand swipe. But I love how he doesn't freak out on this play. Rather, like we saw in his running game, he shows off elite hands. He's able to re-establish contact with this defensive tackle, hitting him with his left hand, which also helps him re-establish his base as a blocker. So even though it looked like initially he was beat on this play, because he kept fighting, he was able to actually win this rep. And in a similar way to his run blocking, Colby has excellent grip strength. Here, for instance, with this defensive tackle trying to hand swipe him, he's not even able to get Colby's hands off of his pads, and Colby just dominates this rep. Another part of Colby's pass protection I really have liked watching throughout this preseason has been his ability to respond laterally. Here, for instance, this defensive lineman keeps trying to challenge him different directions, but because of Colby's lateral quickness, he's able to respond every single time. As much as I like Connor Colby as a player though, he is a 7th round rookie and he does have some clear weaknesses to his game, with probably the most notable in my opinion being his anchoring and pass protection. Because he is 6'6" and a relatively light guard coming in at 310 pounds, if a defensive lineman is able to get underneath him and attach to his pads, he's able to be driven into the backfield. On top of that, Colby has pretty short arms, which can lead to him getting grabby both in his run blocking and pass protections, which probably will lead to some penalties as a rookie. Even with these concerns though, I think Colby has the potential to be a really solid guard in San Francisco's offense, and I honestly would prefer him to start even with Bartch healthy. He's younger, and I think by the end of the season, would be a better guard. But it's not only Bartch San Francisco's looking to replace, as Puni is also out, meaning San Francisco may turn to the rookie in Drew Moss, who's been playing pretty lights out this entire preseason. And honestly, I would prefer him over the veteran in Nick because he proved to be a more healthy option during his college days, and I love his ability as a pass protector, specifically handling stunts. To really illustrate this point, on this play, he does a nice job of kick sliding back, hitting 92 as he crosses in front of his face, sees 91 coming over on this loop, picks him up, and is able to establish a pretty nice base on this play. In a similar way on this play, the Raiders once again are trying to stunt Moss with this defensive tackle slanting across his face and 92 looping over. But because Moss is such a smart player and highly aware on the football field, in part due to the 48 games he played at the college level, quickly he's able to disengage, identify 92 coming on the stunt, and picks him up. Outside of his ability to pick up stunts, Moss also showed off pretty great grip strength throughout this Raiders game. Here, for instance, this defensive tackle is trying to hand swipe him, but Moss is able to stay engaged and drive him outside of this pocket. In a similar way on this play, Moss does a nice job of establishing the double underhooks, and I love his ability to respond laterally in a similar way Connor Colby does. And like Colby, even though he doesn't have the ideal measurements, he is extremely athletic for a guard, meaning Kyle Shanahan can go ahead and move him out on screens like this play, and Moss does an excellent job of moving here. You get to see how 55 tries to shoot around him, but Moss quickly establishes a pretty nice block on this play, and is a big reason why the screen goes for as many as it does. Outside of Moss's pass protection, I really think not a lot of people are talking about just how aggressive Moss is as a run blocker, which I absolutely love, and I think it sets a tone on the offensive side of the ball. Here, for instance, he's tasked with making his way up to the second level, but because he's not able to disengage with this defensive tackle, he drives him into the floor, which causes a chain reaction of pancakes on this play. Not only does his man fall, so does a linebacker and another defensive tackle. With these pauses being mentioned about Moss though, like Colby, he also has pretty short arms, so sometimes he'll also struggle in pass protection, like on this play. Still though, like Colby, I think he's an extremely promising player, especially given the fact that he was such a consistent guard and tackle at the college level, meaning San Francisco can rely on both Colby and Moss hopefully head into the season. Which I don't think the same can be said about Nick Zakelj, since he has been placed on IR during his short-lived NFL career, and overall as a player, he hasn't been the most consistent, especially in his run blocking. So if either of San Francisco's starting guards, either Bartch or Dominick Puni, or now potentially both are out to start the season, I would rather see San Francisco start the rookies in Connor Colby and Drew Moss. But ultimately, these are just some of my thoughts on San Francisco's guards and Dominick Puni and Bartch dealing with injuries, and potential replacements in Drew Moss and Connor Colby. Now though, I want to hear your thoughts about San Francisco's guards dealing with these injuries and who you would like to see them start. Would you like to see them potentially start maybe Burford at guard, or would you like to see them go with Zakelj? It would also mean a ton to me if you did enjoy this video, if you could go ahead and like and subscribe. It truly helps out the channel a ton, and as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.